Overview of the Book of Nahum. The Book of Nahum is a powerful prophetic message focused on the judgment of Nineveh, the capital of Assyria. While Jonah emphasized God's mercy toward Nineveh when it repented, Nahum announces its final destruction after it returned to violence and wickedness. Author. The book is written by Nahum the Elkoshite, Nahum 1:1. Very little is known about him personally. His name means comfort or consolation, which is fitting because his message brought comfort to Judah, though it proclaimed destruction for Nineveh. Date and historical setting. Nahum prophesied between 663 BC and 612 BC. In Nahum 3:8-10, he refers to the fall of No, Thebes, in Egypt, which occurred around 663 BC. Nineveh fell in 612 BC to the Babylonians and Medes. Assyria had been a brutal world power. They conquered Israel in 722 BC and oppressed surrounding nations, including Judah. By Nahum's time, Assyria had returned to extreme violence, arrogance, and idolatry. Audience. The prophecy concerns Nineveh, but it was primarily delivered for the encouragement of Judah. God's people were living under the shadow of Assyrian domination. Nahum's message reassured them that God had not forgotten their suffering. Key theme: the justice and sovereignty of God. Nahum emphasizes God's righteous judgment, his power over nations, his faithfulness to his covenant people, the certainty of divine justice. The book shows that while God is patient, he does not ignore persistent wickedness. Structure and content. Chapter 1, The Character of God. Nahum begins with a majestic declaration of who God is. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. Nahum 1:3. God is both merciful and patient, just and powerful. He is a refuge for those who trust him, 1:7, but an avenger against his enemies. The chapter promises the end of Assyria's oppression and freedom for Judah. Chapter 2, The Fall of Nineveh. This chapter vividly describes the siege and overthrow of Nineveh. The imagery is intense: chariots racing, gates opening, warriors falling, and the city plundered. The once mighty empire will collapse. What seemed invincible will be reduced to ruin. Chapter 3, The Reason for Judgment. Nahum explains why Nineveh is being judged: violence, lies and cruelty, idolatry, exploitation of nations. Nineveh is called a bloody city. The chapter compares its fall to the earlier destruction of Thebes, proving that no power is beyond God's reach. The book ends with finality. Nineveh's wound is incurable. Those who hear of its fall will rejoice because of its long history of cruelty. Verse 6. Major theological messages. 1. God is just. He will not allow evil to continue forever. 2. God is sovereign over nations. Even the strongest empires fall at his command. 3. God is a refuge. For those who trust him, he is protection in trouble. 1:7. 4. Judgment follows persistent wickedness. Mercy rejected eventually results in accountability. 5. Oppression has an expiration date. God sees and responds. 7. Lessons for believers today. Do not mistake God's patience for indifference. Evil systems and oppressive powers are temporary. Trust in God during seasons of injustice. God defends his people. Justice and mercy are both part of God's character. Connection to Jonah. Jonah preached to Nineveh roughly 150 years earlier. The city repented temporarily and was spared. However, over time they returned to violence and rebellion. Nahum shows God's mercy is real, but persistent, unrepentant wickedness leads to judgment. 9. Why Nahum still matters. Nahum reminds us that God governs history. Tyranny does not last forever. Justice belongs to the Lord. Those who trust him are secure. Closing reflection. Nahum may seem like a book of judgment, but at its heart, it is also a book of comfort. It reassures believers that God sees injustice, remembers his covenant, and acts at the right time. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. Nahum 1:7.